Welcome to the AT Pit Crew podcast. This high-energy show dives deep into the world of sports emergency care. Join us as we explore cutting-edge strategies, real-world experiences, and expert insights to help you step up your game in emergency care. We've got the tools, tips, and stories you need to be ready when seconds matter. It's time for the AT Pit Crew podcast. We have the green light in 3, 2, 1.
To the AT Pit Crew podcast. I'm Ray Castle. I'm here with Ronnie Harper. We're just doing this as an in-year wrap up of where we've been for 24 and where we're going in 25. Got some really exciting news as part of this is that as of today, Ronnie has joined us as a partner. Super excited. We've been working on this for a while. We've been working together for a long time in our respective roles, probably 30 plus years, I guess. Yeah. Started back and I know when I was at LSU, you were at Uptown High School. You were a fantastic preceptor for us and doing really enhanced emergency care, and we've done that over the years. So we were talking with why not be a good idea just to connect with you, the audience, and this has been kind of the end of the year has been a challenging year. I know from our standpoint, from the last month or so, but also we want to wrap it up and where we're moving forward and getting things rolling, steamrolling, so to speak. We're going to be in the fast lane and hope you're going to join us. So really, we talked some is we want to, let's be thankful for the blessings we've been given during the year. That's the first and foremost, both personal and professional, but also, and then for you as well. And also think about, we're going to take a real quick deep dive into Action Medicine Consultants. We're going to talk about some of our wins, our struggles, lessons from 24, and also how we're going to give you our vision, but where things are moving forward for us. So we see where our successes in our Event Medical 360 event medical coverage, our CEUnleashed platform, we unleashed that in 23 or late part of 23 with our courses and how that's evolved over that and where we're moving forward. And then also the AT Pit Crew podcast, which you're now seeing, started that in November. And then also our course we started last year, really intensive Pit Crew Sports Emergency Care course, which we're excited about. It's constantly evolving. We're all about high performance and improving health and safety, not just for ourselves and the events we cover, but also for you as well and across the country. So let's dive in. So if you're a first-time listener, it's real simple for our podcast. Each question is a lap. So we're going to go 10 laps today, and then we're going to wrap it up with a victory lap or a victory lane. So you ready to get started, Ronnie?
Let's do it.
All right. So, all right. So, one of the things we've Ronnie and I communicate a lot during the year and more so, and we're moving forward as partners now. So super excited about that. So as for you as coming in and been, you've been working with us for a couple of years off and on, but now moved into this. So what do you see as you're coming in now as a partner? What's the biggest win that you think we had in 2024, and how does it set the stage for us moving forward in this upcoming year in 25?
Yeah, that's a great question. I had probably our aha moment, I think you'll agree with this, is we're both professional educators. Like we've been in the education, we've run athletic training education programs. We both love emergency medicine. We both are retired. We both are entering into this phase of life where we're able to go do some things we really love.
New tires on.
That's right.
It's a new lap, new tires. We're not done yet.
So we put our creative brains together and we said that we want to develop a emergency care workshop, hands-on, in a matter of around 6 hours. How much can we get accomplished with a practicing athletic trainer in order to upscale their skills in emergency medicine? That was our goal. So we said, okay, how does this work? We knew it was the pit crew approach. That was like, it's a team approach. And then how do you make it like repetition, drill and practice, but keep it high quality? Anyway, we put together this program and we were nervous as we could be. We jumped out and said, let's take it. We took it to Dallas, right?
Yep.
I remember when we finished that day, we got in the truck, we high-fived each other. We said, okay, we got it.
Yeah.
And I think that was the highlight, was when we finished the first.
And then we got to the last, by the time we did the last one in Knoxville, it got much more
Same thing.
efficient. Yeah.
Same feeling to say, okay, we accomplished what we set out to be, and the people that went through what we had gave us high praise and a lot of value that we were on the right track to accomplishing the goal of creating a very intense workshop called the Pit Crew course. That was our biggest move, was just seeing the result.
Along those lines, Ronnie, I think the thing that I really, and I say it's personally because I like, we do this all the time, but being in this course and being in the number of different, we've both been in, and so as many people been in very serious situations where seconds count in that workflow.
Mm-hmm.
This course fits well to bring in any provider, not just for athletic trainers. It brings in a whole element from EMS that transition. So that's one of the things we hit a lot on this year. So yeah, I think you hit that right on the head.
Yeah.
So
I look forward to the ones in 2025. We're going to have an aggressive agenda. Hopefully you can find a chance to participate in one of those that we'll be releasing here soon. So let's change gears here, Ray. Another part of our business is Event Medical 360, which is event coverage. And so that continues to evolve and grow and get better. It's just gotten better. Every time we do an event together, I find things we do better. What were some of the big milestones that you feel like that we hit in event coverage in 2024?
Yeah, this is the company started this to do event medical coverage. So it was in 2012, in the spring of 2012, and it's just constantly evolved. But I think this year we really, you have to with any program, you got to figure out what are some things you've got to, like the focus points. I'm going to get better points of emphasis this year. I think that was one thing we set down a couple different areas, really standardize, doing a better job standardizing our equipment. We have our kits now, everything we've got, from the live AEDs it allows us to quality check equipment, not just that, but also our response kits. Those are in there, making sure we're checking those and we deploy those out there being checked. I think our expansion of coverage, we went out to, we coordinated part of the Solomon World Trail Run Series, which is a tremendous event out in California. That was I think just from that type of event, it's a big event that we have a cadre of our portfolio of events we can cover in what we do, and we provide that level of care, from marathons to tournaments to everything else throughout the South. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is focusing on not on these big things, but really several small things, and we're documenting. We also started doing insight reports, and we're going to continue to do that to companies.
What do you mean insight report?
I think we just tell them exactly what went on. We have several, like we have one company, we do 15, 20 events with them a year, and these are big scale events. So we, that, give it one example, we start giving them a report. Okay, what's the temperature? What's the environmental conditions? What's the context of coverage? What are the casualty rates, or the types of injuries we saw? What are other things we saw that are significant? So that they can they're making informed decisions. But we're not just there. We are very active in that. We're very much part of their success. And I think that's one thing we do, I think, really good job of, and we have done, is we're not just standing there. We're very much a part of that overall event success and participant success. So those are probably the couple of things that are really stand out to me that were milestones.
All I know is everyone we went to, we always did a recap. Like, we just didn't blow to the next one. We stopped and said, okay, what worked, what didn't work? We made a list, and then we went and done that list. And I think that was the thing that impressed me.
I think I should have said this, but the one thing I think we talked about is we found out that we're going to do these 2 or 3 different things. And it was very simple things to do. But what we found was, and just what you just said, we were finding we're getting better at every event, and we're doing the same thing. I mean, we're doing it, and we've done these before, but just really making just a 2-minute emphasis on one thing throughout the whole day. And we just start seeing it's also changing other aspects that we were starting to see. Okay, it filters over other things as well. So yeah, that's the milestones are big. So, talking about some of the event management, these events we're covering, I'm going to throw this back to you. So, one of the things that we talked about improving was the level of service that we provide to all events. We brought in internally a sports medicine event manager, and we're building that into multiple positions based on where we will. So where do you see that addition of us focusing, having a person who's dedicated support, not necessarily there at the event, but with us in logistic wise and planning side that impacts operations?
Just to give reference to some of the events that we work, some of them are single one-off events. That's just one person, simple to do. Like a flag football or a soccer. It doesn't require a lot of staff. Then there are some that are very large, that include multiple people, multiple sites, and these are the ones that get very complex. And we have found ourselves early in the process of overlapping a lot of duties, and finally we said, okay, we need one person in charge. All they got to do is make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be, the equipment is where they need it supposed to be. And we gave it a title, and it was called the Special Events Coordinator. And so I thought that was a big feather in our cap, that we saw that at some events we desperately need this level of care in the management of our event. So that was a big win for us.
Yeah, we can, a lot of things, one thing we can do, some things very simple, it's very straightforward. Other ones require different. When we start planning other events out, we have one person who can actually, who are assisting with us, but also have a different level, set of eyes on what we're doing. I think it's I think that was something I knew before we look at doing this in the year. So, I think that's something we're going to continue to evolve. And as we bring more managers on, as we grow, that's going to be really to have consistency.
So another part of our business, Ray, that we started, as you mentioned early in our later part of 2023, was our online courses. We call it that program CEUnleashed. And so we've populated that with quite a few incredibly high quality courses. I remember when we started, we have one, we got two, and now
we've got 50 something. We're getting ready to add this upcoming week. We've got 3 or 4 adding in, and we're restarting it back up again.
All in athletic emergency care. So Ray, we have this program called CEUnleashed that we have now populated, incredible courses. What's been our biggest challenges and our successes with that program, those own courses? What do you see in the future of that program?
I probably think that the one thing is it's been, there are companies that are producing, they have CEUs or charging fees, and we started doing that model. And I think we just made a philosophical shift. It's about developing community, and it's not, now the platform is $4.90. It went from the regular, like everybody else does. We have 100% sports emergency care courses and content, and not
CEU credit,
and no, that's. What's that?
For how much?
For less than $5 a year.
50 something CEU credits specifically.
Yes. And understand, I think that, people ask me that, we made that philosophical, it's important for us about us being able to make it affordable, that it doesn't have to be expensive. And these are online courses, and we've done this a long time. We've had a lot of talk about this, and I think it's like, well, it's the value is in the community.
That's what we're trying to build.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a barrier. You and I both go to courses. I can go to this course and learn this, but I can't do it. But also with the platform, we also set it up so that you don't have to pay you can watch the course. It's not you can go log in and we want information accessible. It's important. It's like going to the internet. You can find, but having emergency medicine in general is fairly consistent when you look at the straight facts of what you're looking for. So we want to make that very accessible, from the coaches to, we're talking about gaps in EAP gaps in cardiac arrest, or having exertional heat stroke, those things, like, any other high-end level. They can go watch this, and then you'll see the value. You see the value.
The community in the CEUnleashed, right?
Yes, we have, it's within it. So you can
explain the community. What does it look like?
It's just like a dedicated platform, almost like not, I was going to say Facebook. It's not Facebook, but it's like
You can ask a question. You can ask the
question.
community to get involved.
Yes, it's yes.
About emergency medicine. So, hey, if you haven't checked out that CEU Unleashed community, as Ray said, you can get in and get involved and not pay a dime. If you need some CEU credits, a buttload of them, a lot of them, you can get it for $5. So,
yeah, or if over your organization, you can go for less than $2.50.
Yeah,
and that per person. And I think this, the one thing that we talk about is it's what people are looking for. They're looking for value, and it doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to pay $200 or $150 a year. It's strictly sports emergency care. Now, granted, if you want to talk about, some other topic like injury rehabilitation or whatever, yeah, we can do that. We've done that over the years, but you're not going to find it in our core. It's strictly in a sports emergency care. It's just what you're focused on in developing that community, but also bringing others to who may be coach or the parent, educating them as well. So I think it's just really important for us from a personal standpoint that we work together and improve sports health and safety.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So this is fun. This is what I've been wanting to talk to you about this some, and so we've been talking about this for a long time, for about well over a year and a half. We've looked at this and evolving what this looks like with from bringing you on as a co-partner with Action Medicine Consultants. I'm super excited just because we're family already now, coming into business and things like that. So where do you see we've talked about this, but I think everybody else know, what do you envision as your role in shaping our company to the next iteration of Action Medicine Consultants for 2025 and moving forward?
Well, you retired a year ahead of me, and we were working an event together, and we were out at Dutchtown High School, and then you started saying your vision of what you wanted to do, and I'm going to do that too. And next thing I knew is I announced my retirement. I said, I'm going to go do something with Ray. And we didn't know what we were going to do together. We just knew that we shared common passion in emergency medicine. And we could do a lot of things, but we knew that there was this problem that we wanted to solve that we never had the opportunity to solve. And that was to help practicing athletic trainers upskill, up knowledge, improve in emergency medicine. And there was nothing really at a price and quality. And we knew that we could deliver that, not to the developing athletic trainer in the collegiate setting, which is where we invested a career, but now to the athletic trainers that are out there. So I'm just involved with how do we most efficiently at a high quality do that as a athletic trainer, educating other athletic trainers about how to become better equipped in emergency medicine. Because I know in my life, the reason I got interested in this is because it scared me. And like dealing with emergency medicine, I didn't know what to do. Now I can see and sense that fear in other athletic trainers that the scope of practice dramatically keeps changing while the education isn't keeping up with to prepare them for the scope that is changing. So I want to help fix that. That's my role, is figuring out how to help fix that. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, we've been having, I think that's the one thing you've been having. We're both involved heavily in event coverage. So it's not like, I think we take the approach of, well, if there are folks who are helping us to rise to the top in skill development and other courses. And then also we want to do the same. And also there's the other reality is there are hardly for athletic trainers, there really aren't any dedicated courses that are affordable. Then you go at strictly sports emergency care. And I think that isn't,
especially in their region, in the area. So we're trying to take this show on the road to come.
And we've been doing that. So it's not what we're used to, but also to make it valuable for when they walk out of the course. We want it to be instant impact.
Yes.
I think we're seeing that, which is really humbling, but also because we grow from those as well. We get better just from the communication we have on those courses as well.
Yep. Ray, AT Pit Crew podcast. This podcast is like, I don't know. We were sitting there one day and you mentioned it back early last year. Hey, we should do a podcast. And I went, we should. We put it on the table. We should do a podcast. Yes, we should. Finally, we said, we're doing what do we call it? Well, it was neutral. It was called the Pit Crew podcast because that goes in line with our whole messaging. But tell us your vision of what this podcast can do for the practicing athletic trainer and our business.
Well, I think first off, I think this has been something that's been brooding in me for several years. It's not something I'm like, okay, I thought about doing this just because it's just a fun, it's an outlet, it's a way to engage with others and really get down to it's not a lecture. It is, we're having a discussion like we're having here. We could talk about, entitled CO2 and really have a focused conversation. It really gets to the CEU side of it that as well. I think the one, as we start looking at it and starting developing, it's not just a podcast. People think of podcast, I'm going to go log into, we've got all the channels you can use for this. It's not just audio, it's video. So we're going to be, as we start evolving and get several episodes going into 25, we're going to, like you see here, this is good, just like this. It's not just the, just one-way conversation. We're converting those to CEU credit. So those will be adding into the CEUnleashed platform.
Okay.
So now you can listen to it for free. You can watch it for free. Mm-hmm. You can even outside our platform, and then you can also as many as you want to get.
We'll do live eventually.
Yeah, we'll do some live. I think the one we've already talked about for you all is we're going to do some. It's not now we have video. We can do some demo work, like really fun stuff. It's one thing to talk about. I'm going to do a lecture and I can give this, but if I'm doing an airway, I got to do it. You can do it right the first time. Problems and challenges. We could do that. Even do some other, and also not just that, but also asking you as the audience is, what's your pain point? We want to hear from you. Get you on the podcast because that's a conversation that needs real time. In real time as we're going through it, asking a question, getting the answer. So as it's a live. I'm not a call in, but it will be something along those lines. We're going to
do that.
Oh yeah. Oh, we will. I think, but not just. But look, just not for practicing athletic training. You have athletic training students in curriculums. You have team physicians. You have EMS. How do you handle those tough conversations? So those are things like that we're going to definitely ramp up on a regular basis. But also make it really that whole platform, but also converting having more timely stuff on blogs. Things integrate. Yeah, it's gonna be fun to do some. So, I guess want to switch gears for a second. Is thinking about we look back in last year. You're on the outside, but not on the outside, but now you're on the inside. So with the company, what do you think is the most impactful partnership that we developed during this past year?
Yeah, I think. Man, we had so many. We opened up so many doors and tried to develop connections with other entities. I think the highlight for me personally was the relationship that we did with LSU, particularly with
and the lake, Our Lady of the Lake.
Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, yes, to where they sort of approached us and said, hey, we want to do something in emergency medicine like you had done in previous years. And we wanted to do something too. And so we put together an incredible one-day workshop at LSU with the lake. I think that was probably the most fun and engaging and really beneficial relationship. We had others that are on the corporate business side, like Medco, a big win for us.
Yeah, Laerdal, Avive, and we have other partners as well that we have coming in. For the past year, we've had Sportgate and
My Sports Dietitian,
Zamps, and Rumble Roller. Throughout the year, they've been there for more than a year or so. You have, My Sports Dietitian elements have been there, and all those partners, educational partners, help us deliver this content. Yeah. So that's one been there as well. So, and I think also you mentioned, don't forget, we're also now. We did that course at LSU with LSU and Our Lady of the Lake, and it was about, it was interdisciplinary. So we had the full day course, hands-on, and then we also did a team position course. And, now we've decided to go back and I guess we be official or unofficial. We're working with the teams Texas down in South Texas. That's going to be a fantastic course in this summer. Doing kind of similar to what we did at LSU. There's some parts of it and at the LSU course this summer. So we're doing that and do that as well. So I think that's a great, really thinking so many different things. You kind of hit the head there with that relationship. It's a super relationship that we had fun doing the course and delivering that over the 2 days.
So Ray, you was a program director at LSU in athletic training education. I was at Southeastern, and you understand what it's like to prepare for accreditation. Like, it's insane, the amount of work, processes, systems, documentation. Now we're in the business set.
Yeah.
Did any of that carry over to our businesses? And how does systemizing business mirror in any way what we did in academia?
Well, I think you look at being a program director, it's a business.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a business function. It has a budget. It has resources, both in person. You have to treat it as a business. And so just like
Product.
we have a product. You have a product.
Measure your product.
Exactly. And you're doing that as well.
Your product.
Yes. And you have stakeholders. So it's no different. It's just saying you have to put the different, it looks differently. One call it a business, one not, but it still has the same components. From our standpoint, I think the one thing we talked about earlier is we define things that can be consistent in what you're doing. Be simple and be consistent. And when you do that, then you can see those results. And I think as much as we've been doing this, it's just nice to do some things a little bit. We improved the things we're talking about. We did a couple of things that just improved them a little. We, changed the form up a little bit, changed our flow of how we're tracking it. And it really wasn't like we're not doing it. We are doing it. It's just let's just do some things a little different, systemize electronically or on paper. And it just creates those workflows. So now when we have to do things within the business operation side, we're doing workflows. And now we're trying to moving forward to 25, we're adding more in terms of when we do scheduling. It's not an Excel spreadsheet. We have a platform that does that. We're getting ready to do that internally as a separate platform. And also to integrate, our reporting and our metrics. We can see, looking at true insights, and we see some valuable data and what that looks like. So you can get really caught up on all the technologies out there. Yeah. And keep it simple, because one is a small business. When we started, and you're familiar with this as well. You want to try to invest in stuff, and it's an easy fix. But look, it doesn't have to be expensive to make it work, and it eventually will. You make it flow. It works well for you, and it becomes overall it's beneficial. Otherwise, you have to change gears and you spend more time going back to what you should have done when you got reinvested. Now you're stuck into something financially. It's not good. I say it's those of you who are in a business. I mean, it's just you can. There's a point in time you got to change. So, and have the information you need and make sure you can use it as most meaningful way. So,
yeah, I love the analogy of the product from an accreditation athletic training. It was a business. It is a product. It is a commodity. It's human beings, but it's still at the end of the day a production system, and that's exactly where we're at. We're in a production system, event management, online courses, with in-person workshops. Like, that is exactly what we're producing, and we get to start from scratch. We get to invent our own way. We get to do it together. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So when we get into
so we look at. Okay, go ahead. I mean, I cut you off and ask you something.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, that's all right. Sorry, having too much fun. So we're doing some of those things. So in this upcoming year in 2025, this year has gone so crazy fast, as everybody knows it is. What do you think is our one? And you see this coming in, and this is going to we're super excited about is to collaborate. What do you think is a top priority for improving sports emergency care? I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. How do we improve the sports emergency care community as a whole? And this is not just athletic trainers; it's every stakeholder to truly make changes in sports sports emergency throughout the, regardless of the setting, whether it's high school, youth, college, so.
So what we believe in is a combination of resources to make your learning more efficient. So we've invested a lot in CEUnleashed to develop a general knowledge base and a community. And we're now going to have training videos that match up with what you do in the workshop called the Pit Crew. And so it's tying all those together so that we maximize the athletic trainer's time to accomplish what you call immediate action in knowledge and skills. How quickly can I go from A to Z and not waste any time? And it's when you blend all those together, that's where all the pieces come together for us. And that's our priority, is to make that blend happen and make it work really, really well so that the athletic trainer spends the least amount of time against the biggest thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about the Pit Crew. What's your vision for that? What's going on with that?
Oh, I love this stuff. This is, I mean, you know, from a training standpoint, the one is, I think one of the things that we did about that course, and I truly believe it, because like lecture presentations are overrated. Going to, you know, I just think we've gone to enough courses, is that we made that course where there is no lecture. It is skill development. You're working on confidence and competence, and you can, they get a report out, or you get a report. And it's like 9 pages. It's really intensive, but we dissect everything so that you have a good landing point. I mean, that's the one thing we're working on systemizing, making that a more efficient process, how we deliver it, how we evaluate it, but also have tracking data. That we're constantly improving that. I do think you mentioned the videos. We did those a couple of weeks ago. That was just fun to do. It's one thing to see we see videos that we've used for instruction, but to actually do those videos, I got to give a shout out. You know, we got to give a shout out again to Horizon Financial Group here in Baton Rouge with Bill and Pete and Andy Bush. They have a fantastic podcast studio, but they allowed us to come in and spend the day, and we brought all of our equipment in. You know, it's from, we're doing those skills. We've got some more of them we're going to do down the line, but you know, I think providing those type of resources at a course, it's not when you know, a lot of times you walk to a course, and we've seen this number of disciplines. You walk out, you do something, but then you don't have anything there. You know, with the videos, constantly, you can constantly do them as part of the Pit Crew course. And I think that's something that's going to be really valuable for the end user, or our attendees, because then they can go back and constant refinement and their skill. I just want to go freshen up on this skill from an organization standpoint. Hey, we're going to talk about airway management this month, and they've all gone to that course. Now they have access to the videos, and then they can go back and, you know, still constantly. It really improves the EAP process, the training, what happens from high school to college. Those organizations have several, where we can. Also, the thing is, we're making that course tailored to the age. So, you know, it's college or pediatric.
So quickly tell us this workshop. You said there's very little lecture, if any, which I agree, on purpose. But just run through give us a glimpse of what it looks like. What are you going to do? I walk in your Pit Crew course. What's going to happen in the 6 hours?
Well, first off, we have the pre-site. So we evaluate you get evaluated your confidence level
Before you ever show.
Before you show it. We have to know where you're starting, regardless of whoever it is. And then we also will engage what your confidence level is in a variety of emergency care scenarios.
Medical trauma
throughout all of those. And we have a full setup. So we just kind of getting an idea to get you to start thinking about what you may have to encounter. And then when we get into the course, we go right in. We have skill sessions. We're viewing skills.
Your groups, you're putting groups,
small groups, and expert.
You work with that group as a
yes,
team, right?
Yeah, work with a group as a team. So we have groups of 4, but you also go into these skill groups, and you're doing specific skills that we have set times throughout these, and then you go into selected scenarios, like we do medical skills, and then we're going to do medical scenarios. And every person will go through a different scenario, and they're all watching it. They're either going to be their proctor helping to facilitate it. You have one person who's the lead, one who's an assist or one person just a bystander or the patient. And the focus is really able to focus on doing first things first.
Right.
And we gradually build that over throughout the day to where you're doing it's longer, shorter and longer, but it's about working either by yourself or with one other person, because that's when it really gets hairy. You have to deal with a different scenario from, anaphylactic shock to, and then we have obviously exertional heat stroke.
About how many scenarios we have there?
24. And he's like, how do you do 24? We run through everything is timed. It's pit crew.
Okay.
So it means to be efficient. You have equipment, you come in, boom, you start again, you get evaluated. And then we have debrief sessions. We work about how to improve. So everything is going through. We have our instructors who are there, one, they're coming back and forth. We're looking through that the whole day. And,
You don't sit down.
oh, no.
You're exhausted when it ends, but it's so much.
And then we get them back in. So the other side, when you do a scenario, you're going to get detailed feedback on what you did well and then what you need improvement. And it tells you, hey, oxygen administration. Boom, you'll see that in the report. So it does those things. So yeah, it's really fun to see how that's where we're continuing to streamline that and offer throughout the country this year.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Good. It was good. It's good. Love talking about that stuff. So, so last thing is, I guess we go to any podcast, we talk the victory.
Yep.
And so from our standpoint, I've got to ask you, and I guess you'll probably ask me the same thing, is what's the one takeaway from today?
Yeah.
That you want that you talk to the audience for where we are this year and where we're moving into in 2025 and beyond.
If you haven't connected with us yet, check us out and plug in somewhere to our pit crew or CU course and just see what we deliver. I think you'll find it different. I think you'll find it unique. I think you'll find it fun. I think you'll find it as inexpensive as we possibly can produce. That's our vision. And I'm looking forward to a bright 2025. We got a lot of work to do, but I think once you plug into the pit crew, you're going to realize that you'll want to tell others.
I think probably with that it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't cost a lot to save a life. Yeah. And we take that approach. I think we probably explore.
So what about?
Really, I think just the community. I love the fact of being able to collaborate with others and solve problems, because while some person may present a problem, we've had it, or we're in the middle of it, or having dealt with it. How do we get a different perspective? I think that's the one thing I really am enjoying. I've enjoyed about this, and we'll continue to enjoy, is we get to develop a community. And when we do we've done the pit groups, they come in and you have folks there who may have been at another clinic, and they're friends, but they never get to work with each other. So now we bring them into that one course, and they're having a blast. They're like, oh, this is, it's fun. They get to share. They're sharing their stories of you can't make this stuff up type moments. But I think that's where we really collaborate. Say we can do, because you're on the other, you work for another company. We're at the end of the day, you're on a silo, and you're on one side, another side. You got to work together, and you want that to work efficiently. So that'd be the one take on. Collaborate and have a pit crew approach and
Join the crew, huh?
Fast. Yeah. Join the crew. Yeah. That's it. So, that's pretty much it. So everybody, we have kind of wrapped this thing up. It's time for us to get out of here. And, we've got a couple hours. We've got 2020.
That's it.
So in any case, everybody, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
And really hope you enjoyed the show. This is fun for us to kind of just talk. We're busy doing stuff. We get to sit down and visit. So, one, make sure, to click and follow the button on your favorite podcast app. We're across 16 different apps. So it's not hard to find where we are. And you'll make sure so you never miss a lap, and don't forget it's free. And if you're interested in more valuable insights, courses, and more from the best in sports emergency care, and by the way, we're adding more faculty this year. And then as well, we got some neat folks coming on board. Please make sure to sign up for the Vital Connection newsletter at ActionMed.co. I'm Ray Castle,
Ronnie Harper,
and you've been listening to the AT Pit Crew podcast. We are out of here.
Thank you for joining us on the AT Pit Crew podcast. We encourage you to like, subscribe, and join our community. For more information about this podcast show, visit www.actionmed.co/podcast. This show is a production of Action Medicine Consultants, LLC. The medical information provided within this program reflects the opinions of the hosts and guests and is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It should not be considered as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the guidance of your healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment.